What if I told you that most of what you've been taught about aging is wrong? What if that feeling of stiffness when you get out of bed, that mental fog that clouds your afternoons, and that slow, creeping weakness in your arms and legs are not an inevitable sentence handed down by time? What if they are, instead, the direct result of a profound misunderstanding? A simple, critical mistake that millions of seniors are making every single day, precisely because they are trying to do the right thing. This is the great paradox of aging. We have been told that the path to a long, healthy life in our later years is one of comfort, rest, and taking it easy. But what if that very advice, that culture of comfort, is the exact thing that is accelerating the aging process? What if the simple, ignored secret to slowing it all down, to reclaiming your energy, your clarity, and your strength, is to do the opposite? What if the key to staying young is to strategically reintroduce the one thing everyone has told you to avoid? I'm talking about challenge. Over the course of this video, we're going to explore this simple biological law. The law that says a body that is never challenged is a body that is given permission to decay. We'll reveal the 3 specific, simple, and powerful ways to send the anti-aging signal to your body. Signals that can trigger deep cellular repair, rebuild lost muscle, and sharpen your mind. And I promise you, the reason this is so ignored is because it is so counterintuitive. It goes against everything you've been told. So let's first define what we mean by aging. Because in this context, it is not about the number of candles on your birthday cake. That's chronological aging, and we can't stop it. We are talking about biological aging, the loss of function, the loss of resilience, the loss of your body's ability to repair and regenerate itself. This is the process that makes you feel old, and this, we have now discovered, is incredibly flexible. So why does our function decline? It declines because the body is the ultimate adaptation machine. It is built for efficiency, and it will not waste precious energy maintaining systems it doesn't think it needs. So when you take it easy, when you avoid all physical struggle, when you never let yourself get too hot or too cold, and when you keep your stomach comfortable and full at all times, you are sending a loud and clear message to your body. The message is, life is easy. There are no threats. There is no need to be strong. There is no need to be resilient. And your body, in its infinite wisdom, says, message received. And it begins the process of decommissioning. It stops repairing cells so efficiently, it allows mitochondria, your energy factories, to become weak, and it begins to scavenge your metabolically expensive muscle tissue for resources. This is the process of aging, and it is triggered not by time, but by comfort. The simple solution, therefore, is to interrupt that signal, to send a new message, a message that says, I am still here, I'm still fighting, and I need you to be strong. And this brings us to the first and most important anti-aging signal that is almost universally ignored by seniors. The one that is the single greatest accelerator of biological aging when it is absent, and the single most powerful anti-aging therapy when it is present. And in the next block, we are going to reveal exactly what that is, and why the common healthy activities that seniors do are failing to send it. I'm curious, what is the one piece of anti-aging advice you've heard that always sounded wrong or too good to be true? Share it in the comments below.
So, we've established that our bodies are decaying because we are living in a culture of comfort, and that to reverse this, we must send a new signal. But what is this first, most powerful anti-aging signal? The one that is so simple, yet so ignored. The signal is not just movement. It is not taking a gentle stroll. It is not gardening. The signal is struggle. It's the demand for a level of force that your muscles and bones are not currently used to. This is the entire principle of resistance training, and it is the only language your body understands for regeneration. This is the first great contrast, what everyone thinks versus what really happens. Millions of seniors believe that walking 10,000 steps a day is the pinnacle of healthy aging, And while walking is wonderful for your cardiovascular health and your mind, it is doing almost nothing to stop the primary drivers of biological aging. It is doing nothing to stop sarcopenia, the loss of muscle, or osteoporosis, the loss of bone density. Why? Because walking is an efficiency adaptation. Your body is brilliant, and it learns to perform that walk using the least amount of energy and the least amount of muscle fiber possible. It's an adaptation for endurance, not for strength. It is not a challenge, therefore it sends no signal for repair or growth. The anti-aging signal is a biological principle known as hormesis, the idea that a brief, intense, and recoverable stressor is what actually triggers the body's internal repair, rejuvenation, and strengthening pathways. When you challenge your body with resistance, something as simple as standing up from a chair without using your hands, or pushing against a wall, or lifting a gallon of milk over your head, and you do it until it feels difficult, until your muscles begin to burn just a little, a completely different biological cascade is triggered. You are sending a powerful, primal signal that says the current level of strength is not enough. We must adapt. We must rebuild. We must get stronger to survive this challenge. This signal, this struggle, is what tells your mitochondria to become more powerful. It's what tells your brain to release growth factors. And it's what activates the satellite cells in your muscles to build new, youthful tissue. This is the true anti-aging, but this is exactly why it is ignored, because the moment I say resistance or struggle, I know exactly what you are thinking. I can't, my knees are too stiff, my back aches, it hurts, and I am afraid I will injure myself. This right here is the great barrier. It is the cruel irony that the very thing that can reverse the stiffness is blocked by the stiffness itself. But what if that daily discomfort wasn't a life sentence? What if you could support your body's ability to rehydrate and nourish those joint tissues from within? There's some fascinating science on how specific nutrients can help restore that feeling of lightness and flexibility. I've placed a link to this unique approach in the first pinned comment for anyone who feels stuck and wants to move with that youthful ease again. Because once that barrier is gone, the real magic of this first signal can happen. And this brings us to the next myth. The idea that this struggle has to be dangerous or complex, that it requires a gym. This is a lie. The safest, simplest, and most profound anti-aging signal can be sent in your own living room with your own body weight. The simple, ignored solution is that your body pushing against gravity is the perfect challenge. It is the struggle of a simple bodyweight squat, a push-up against the kitchen counter, or holding a plank position for 30 seconds. That is the hormetic stressor your body is craving. But it's ignored because we've been told to take it easy. We've been told to embrace comfort, when in reality, our bodies are starving for a challenge. So that is the first key, the signal of struggle. But sending this signal, as vital as it is only part one of the equation. It's like flicking a switch to turn on the body's entire repair and renovation crew. But what happens if that crew shows up and the body has no energy to run the tools and no cleanup crew to clear out the old damaged debris first? This is precisely what is happening inside the bodies of millions. They are never ever allowing their body to enter the cleanup phase. And in our next block, I am going to reveal the second, simple, and even more ignored anti-aging signal. One that has nothing to do with exercise and everything to do with when you eat.
So we've established the first powerful and ignored anti-aging signal, the signal of struggle, which is like placing a massive order at a factory to rebuild and get stronger. But we left off with a critical problem. The renovation crew, this deep cellular repair system, can't even get to work because the factory floor is cluttered with old damaged debris and the power is being routed elsewhere. This brings us to the second, simple, and perhaps even more ignored anti-aging signal, the one that has nothing to do with exercise and everything to do with when you eat. This signal is the cleanup crew itself. In biological terms, this process is known as autophagy, which literally means self-eating, and it is your body's most profound, built-in rejuvenation system. During autophagy, your body cells actively hunt down old, damaged, and dysfunctional components,
broken proteins, tired mitochondria, and cellular waste. It dissolves them, and then it recycles them into new, pristine, useful parts. It is the definition of cellular anti-aging. It is your body's way of cleaning house, and it is the single most important process for preventing the buildup of the junk that leads to brain fog, joint inflammation, and chronic disease. So, how do we turn on this magical cleanup crew? This is the simple secret, and it's the very reason it is so ignored. You cannot be in storage mode and cleanup mode at the same time. It is biologically impossible. And storage mode is triggered by one specific hormone, insulin. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your insulin level rises. Insulin's job is to be the storage hormone. It's a growth signal. Its message is, energy is coming in, store it in the fat cells, build things, grow. And while this is happening, all non-essential repair and cleanup stops. Your body cannot be building and cleaning at the exact same time. It's like a kitchen. You cannot be frantically cooking a giant multi-course meal with pots boiling over and food flying everywhere and simultaneously be trying to deep clean the floors and scrub the ovens. To clean the kitchen, you must first stop cooking. This is the great inversion of modern health advice. For 50 years, we have been told, eat 3 square meals a day. Breakfast is the most important meal. Eat small, frequent meals to stoke the metabolic furnace. This advice is precisely what is accelerating the aging process, because it means we are always in storage mode. We are always cooking. Our insulin is always elevated, and our cleanup crew, our autophagy, never gets a chance to work. We are living in a perpetually dirty kitchen with cellular junk piling up year after year. This is the why it's ignored part. It's simple, but it's the direct opposite of what we'd been told. The simple, ignored solution is to stop eating. Not forever, but for a strategic window of time each day. This is called intermittent fasting. It's not a diet, it's a timing pattern. By simply finishing your dinner at, say, 7 p.m. and not eating again until 9 a.m. the next morning, you have created a 14-hour window. For the first several hours, your body uses up the energy from your last meal. But then, something magical happens. Your insulin levels drop, the storage signal turns off, and for the first time, the cleanup signal, autophagy, turns on. Your body finally gets to clean house. It starts recycling that old damaged junk that's been causing inflammation and stiffness. It is free, it is simple, and it is the most powerful anti-aging tool you possess. Yet it is ignored because we have been taught to fear the simple sensation of hunger. We've been told to snack constantly to keep our energy up, when in reality, that constant snacking is what's draining our energy by preventing our bodies from ever entering this deep repair state. How many times a day do you find yourself eating or snacking, not because you are truly deeply hungry, but just because the clock says it's time or out of simple habit? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this habit is the lock on the door to rejuvenation. So now we have 2 of the 3 signals. We have the struggle, resistance, which places the order for new, stronger parts, and we have the fasting, autophagy, which cleans out all the old, broken parts. But there is one final critical piece missing. We've cleaned the factory floor, and we've placed the order, but now we need the raw materials. What are we going to build these new, youthful, strong cells out of? This brings us to the third and final signal, the activation signal. And it's based on a raw material that 90% of seniors are drastically under-eating, believing they are being healthy. And in our final block, I am going to reveal what it is and how to use it to complete the anti-aging trifecta.
We have finally assembled the first 2 powerful and ignored anti-aging signals. We have the signal of struggle, which is the hormetic stressor that places the order to get stronger, and we have the signal of fasting, which activates the cleanup crew of autophagy to clear out all the old damaged junk. We have a clean factory floor and we have a new work order, but we are missing the final critical piece, the raw materials. What are we going to build these new, youthful, resilient cells out of? This brings us to the third and final signal, the activation signal, and it's based on a raw material that 90% of seniors are drastically under-eating precisely because they believe they are being healthy. This raw material is protein. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's too simple. Everyone knows about protein. But this is the very core of the paradox. The reason it's so ignored is that what seniors think they need and what their bodies actually demand are two completely different things. For decades, the conventional wisdom has been that as you get older, your nutritional needs, including for protein, either stay the same or perhaps even decrease. This is a catastrophic, age-accelerating mistake. The scientific reality is that as you age, your body's demand for protein, specifically to build and maintain muscle, doesn't just increase, it increases dramatically. This phenomenon is known in the scientific community as anabolic resistance, and it is the missing key to this entire puzzle. Anabolic means to build up. So anabolic resistance means your aging muscles have become resistant to the signals that tell them to build. They become hard of hearing. In your younger years, a small amount of protein, say 20 grams, would send a powerful signal to your muscles to start the repair and growth process. But as you get older, that same 20 grams of protein barely registers. It's like the signal isn't loud enough to wake up the construction crew. To get the same muscle-building response you got in your 40s, you might now need 30, 35, or even 40 grams of protein in a single sitting. This means for seniors, the protein threshold to flip that growth switch is significantly higher, and almost no one is meeting it. They are eating sensible low-protein breakfasts of toast or cereal and light lunches of salads with just a sprinkle of chicken. They are living in a state of chronic protein starvation without even knowing it. They are sending the struggle signal, they are sending the cleanup signal, but they are never sending the raw material signal. Their body has the order, the factory is clean, but the delivery trucks of raw materials never ever arrive. And the body, desperate for amino acids to repair vital organs, does the only thing it can. It begins to scavenge them from the one place it can, your muscles. This is sarcopenia, and it is accelerated by a low-protein diet. The simple, ignored solution is to eat more protein, not less, far more, distributed throughout the day, ensuring each meal hits that 30 or 40 gram threshold. So let's tie it all together. Let's look at the beautiful, simple, anti-aging trifecta. 1. You must send the signal of struggle, resistance training. This is the hormetic stressor that places the order to rebuild. 2. You must send the signal of cleanup, intermittent fasting. This is the autophagy that cleans out the old junk to make room for the new. And 3. You must send the signal of activation, sufficient protein. This is the raw material that your body uses to actually build that new, strong, youthful tissue. This is the plan, and it is so simple. Yet it is ignored because it is the exact opposite of the conventional anti-aging advice. That advice told you to take it easy, but the solution is struggle. That advice told you to eat small, frequent meals, but the solution is fasting. That advice told you to eat light, but the solution is protein. This is the great circularity of our journey today. We started by asking, what if that stiffness, that brain fog, and that weakness were not inevitable? Now we see they are a direct result of a life lived without struggle, without cleanup, and without activation. They are a direct result of comfort. When you reverse this, when you embrace this simple three-part strategy, everything begins to change. Your body has no choice but to respond. It is a biological law. Your stiffness eases because the inflammation is cleaned up and your joints are supported by new, strong muscle. Your brain fog lifts because your body is no longer on a blood sugar roller coaster and autophagy is cleaning up your neural pathways. And your weakness is replaced by strength because you are finally, for the first time in years, giving your body the signal, the time, and the materials to rebuild. That is the simple, ignored truth of anti-aging. And if this message has resonated with you, if you are ready to stop accepting the narrative of decline, then please hit that subscribe button. Our entire mission is to uncover these simple, ignored truths that give you back the power over your own health. Because now that you understand the 3 signals to rebuild your body, you need to know about the 3 accelerators that can sabotage this process. In our next video, we are going to explore the 3 hidden agers: lack of sleep, chronic stress, and one specific nutrient deficiency that can block all your efforts even if you're doing everything else right.